Hi, and welcome to Focal Point AFR Talk. Huffington Post saying that Carol Costello kicked me off of her program on CNN today, and she did. As soon as I started talking about the Centers for Disease Control and the FDA, she threw me off her program. She did not want the truth that the government itself provides. She did not want her viewing audience to get any part of that because she, like the rest of the folks at CNN, can't handle the truth. Let's grab clip number 12. This is Sarah Palin, and I'd be interested to get your reactions to this as part of our conversation. 888-589-8840. We'll start taking phone calls here about your observations about the debate and what you anticipate. And again, we've talked about the desperate nature of the Obama candidacy right now. He's in deep, deep trouble. He knows it. They know it. Everybody knows it. Romney's up 5 in the battleground states in the latest polling data. Even Daily Kos has him up by 2 points. And so it's looking bad. I mean, it's looking like they're heading right over the abyss, which means President Obama is going to be a cornered animal tonight. He's going to be desperate. And I think that means he's going to go mean. He has nothing else. He's got no record to run on, so he's just going to go mean. Now, Sarah Palin said this. I've had this in the queue for about a week here, but it's interesting. She's on with Sean Hannity, and she talks about what the Obama campaign might be inclined to do if Mitt Romney's fortunes continue to rise in the wake of these debates. Here's what she had to say.
Now, we have to be aware, though, in the next couple of debates also, if Mitt Romney continues to gain and gain and gain just by being truthful and experienced and intelligent, doing a good job as a presidential candidate, these guys in the Obama camp, they're not going to go down without swinging. They're going to pull something, Sean. And the American public, with the media's help, these lapdogs in the media, kind of going along with whatever it is that Obama and his people want to do to shake some things up. If Mitt Romney continues to do so well, the American public just needs to be aware that they've got to do their own homework. Don't rely on the filter of the media, and just be aware that something could be pulled here to turn things around if Mitt Romney continues to gain so much ground.
So Sarah Palin saying, look, the Obama camp, something could be pulled here to turn things around if Mitt Romney continues to gain ground. Now, I'm reading stories about how the Obama team is preparing for airstrikes in Libya. So maybe that's the thing. He's going to try to show how tough he is. I mean, who are they going to go after? They're going to do airstrikes in Libya. Who are they going to go after? They have no idea. They don't know who the people are that stormed the consulate. They were arrested by the Libyans, but the Libyans let them go. As far as I know, they're running around loose in Libya somewhere, which is like 9 times the size of Syria. You know, you had Joe Biden out there saying, oh, no, Syria is way bigger than Libya, 5 times bigger than Libya. It's the other way around. Libya is 10 times the size of Syria. So where are you going to find them? But that would, again, be an indication of desperation. It's like Bill Clinton bombing that aspirin factory over in the Sudan just to make it look like he was doing something and was taking charge. Now, another factor that's going to play into this thing tonight is what's going on over in Libya. And let's, why don't we just play, let's play clip 8 and 9, Rob, if we can. The economy is a disaster for Barack Obama. I've just got a whole stack of stories, not going to be able to get to them today, about just the dismal shape the economy is in. And we don't have time even to get into that here today. Here's the Amtrak snack bar lost $84.5 million last year. They've lost $833 million in 10 years. And they're selling hamburgers for like $15 a pop, and they're still losing money. So this is being heavily subsidized. Just another example of another boondoggle. We've got 2 more of Obama's green energy companies filing for bankruptcy today. The battery maker for Volt, they filed for bankruptcy. They're going down. You got Nissan out there saying, hey, our batteries basically wilt in the heat. Our electric car batteries are no good if you live in a hot climate. So if you're in Arizona, good luck with that. Now, anyway, here is Michelle Obama out there. She's on with Pablo Sato, co-host of Pablo and Free. This is on WPGC 95.5, a Washington, D.C. area hip-hop radio station. And so they ask this question, and here's her answer.
All right, Mrs. Obama, you know what? In your words, tell us what you think the State of the Union is in right now.
I mean, we're seeing right now that we're in the midst of a huge recovery, right, because of what this president has done.
So that is Michelle Obama. We are in the midst of a huge recovery. Now, let's bring some reality to what you just heard from Michelle Obama. Let me sift through here. We added more debt last Monday. Well, this is actually October 1st. I've had the story in the stack for a little while. But it's an interesting story to me. That's why I kept it. The federal government added more debt in a single day on October 1st. The Obama administration, the federal government, added more debt on that one day than the United States had incurred from the Declaration of Independence all the way through Pearl Harbor. They added $93 billion plus worth of debt on October 1. It took us from 1776 till 1941 to accumulate $93 billion worth of debt. And this administration did it in one single solitary day. Now, the only place where the unemployment rate is doing well is government workers. You know, the unemployment rate for government workers is down to 4.3%. This is down from 5.7% in July. So government workers doing just fine. And remember, we need government jobs. There are government jobs we need. We need them in the military. We need them in the justice system. We need them. So I'm not saying that we don't need any federal jobs at all. Don't misunderstand me. There are certain federal jobs we need to carry out the functions of government, which is justice and national defense. So I'm not saying every government job is bad, but what I am saying is every government job is a drain on the economy. So yeah, it's fine to say, oh, this isn't the wonderful news. The unemployment rate's only 4.3% under government workers, but that means those people are being hired, and every job is a drain on the economy. Doesn't mean we don't need some of those jobs. I'm saying we need them, but we shouldn't think that that represents some kind of plus for the economy. It is a net drain. And speaking of people paying their fair share, there's a new book that's out by Stephen Moore. And what his book shows, the name of the book is Who's the Fairest of Them All, telling the truth about opportunity taxes and wealth. The top 10% of income earners in the United States pay a higher amount of income taxes than any other industrialized nation in the world. According to Moore, the top 10% of income earners in America pay 45% of the country's total taxes. So much for the not paying their fair share business, 10%, paying almost half of the tax burden in the country. And he says the United States is actually more dependent on rich people to pay taxes than many of the more socialized economies of Europe. According to the Tax Foundation, the United States gets 45% of its total taxes from the top 10% of filers, whereas the international average is 32%. In Belgium, it's 25%. Germany, it's 31%. France, it's 28%. And Sweden, it's 27%. So the reality is we are already soaking the rich. And you've got, you maybe heard about this, Olive Garden and Red Lobster. They're going to shift all their employees to 28 hours a week. Why is that? Because ObamaCare says if you work 30 hours a week, you're full-time, and you've got to provide a full insurance package. And so Olive Garden says, fine, we're just cutting you all back to 28 hours. Now, who gets hurt? Who gets hurt in that deal? Ask me, who gets hurt? Who does Obama hurt? It's the little guy. It's the waiters and waitresses and busboys and cooks and chefs at the Olive Garden and the Red Lobster. Now, the owners of Olive Garden and Red Lobster, they're going to do fine. It's the little guy that is getting hosed by socialism every time it happens. Remember, I played that soundbite, that Thomas Petterfee. We've got that soundbite in the queue. Maybe we can play it again sometime, where he said, look, the reason I left Hungary is what I realized is under socialism, the poor get poorer. That's true. But under socialism, the rich get poor, but also the poor get poorer. And that's what we are seeing. Well, let's see if we can grab a couple of phone calls here before the end of this segment. Let's go to Pete in Madison, Virginia. Pete, you're on Focal Point with Brian Fisher. What's on your mind?
Hi, Brian. How you doing today?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. Hey, yeah, just a quick comment on the debate tonight. I'm hoping that Romney does well. I think he will. But we got to remember some of the things that we need to encourage him to put out. Like you're saying, he's got the truth on his side. He just needs to keep reminding America of Obama's record. I mean, this is the guy that ran on the concept of bringing in a more transparent government. And then shortly afterwards, we find out that they've got to pass the bills before we can find out what's in them.
Yeah, Nancy Pelosi's been out there this week saying, oh, yeah, I read that thing. I read all 2,700 pages of it. Who believes that? I mean, if she'd read it, why didn't she say, hey, I've read it and now I know what's in it? She says, no, you got to pass it so we all can find out what's in it. Well, it'll be interesting, Pete, because these are supposed to be sort of pre-programmed, pre-planned questions. So, the truth is neither Obama nor Romney are supposed to know what questions are coming. You can sort of anticipate if you got a professional question asker where they're going to go, but supposedly there's no way to know. So I don't know how you exactly prepare for that. But it will be interesting, and you're right. President Obama's got no record to run on. Mitt Romney has the advantage of history, the truth, logic, and the facts, so he should have the upper hand. All right, thanks, Pete.
Actually, one more other thing,
Yes,
Brian.
sir.
I'm hoping that he reveals the truth about the unemployment numbers that came out last week, that where the particular state was omitted.
Oh, yeah.
Figures. I hope that comes out tonight because most people in America haven't heard that.
Yeah, and that's a true fact. I appreciate that, Pete. What Pete's talking about is the unemployment, the request for unemployment compensation benefits came in, and the Bureau of Labor Statistics said, hey, it's down. It's down 25,000. Well, the reality is if you look at the raw numbers, see, they do this funky seasonal adjustment thing, and maybe there's some merit to it. They say it all evens out in the end, but they do a seasonal adjustment on those figures. And the reality is there were actually 25,000 more unemployment claims that were submitted than the month before or the week before. 25,000 more. But they seasonally adjusted it, and voila, it all of a sudden became 25,000 less. I mean, this is just monkeying with the numbers. The raw numbers are 25,000 more people filed for unemployment than the week before. And, as Pete pointed out, California didn't even turn in their numbers. That's probably 30,000 people right now. So the reality is probably 60,000, close to 60,000 more people filed for unemployment last week than the week before. Focal Point AFR Talk, back in 2.